welcome to Hardcore Enduro, where it's all about getting out and riding the hard stuff. I'm George, the guy behind the bars and the voice behind the mic, and I got a fun one today. Had a change of plans this weekend. I was going to go down to Soboba, ride the Soboba trail ride. I've been wanting to do that one for a while now, but Mother Nature brought it in a storm, and it's closed a couple of freeways, and just wasn't able to get down in a timely manner. Would have had to go on an alternate route and taken forever, and then they had a chance of getting stuck coming back as there's still some storms that are supposed to come in. Anyways, so I'm out one of my local spots. It's a great open riding area. It's called Avenal Hills. Just really pretty right now with all the flowers and greenery going on. In the recent rains, it did rain a hell of a lot.
Yesterday we had the historic rain, the snow.
Yeah, the day before it snowed even, so there might have been a little bit of snow out here yesterday, which is crazy because it never gets snow out here. But it's gonna make for some good riding conditions. A little bit muddy. I think one more day later it would have dried out a little bit more, and the dirt just would have been that perfect hero dirt that everyone wants to ride on. But it's just a little bit slippery, especially in some of these wash areas. It gets really slick and snotty. But I got a new tire on. I got one of my old favorite tires. It just works good for this terrains. The IRC, the Evo M5B. It's got the super huge knobs, and it's basically a paddle tire in a tread knobby form. The knobs are just giant, and it gets the traction. It'll pull the front end up when you're going uphill easy. So I'm just out, I'm looking out. There's a couple obstacles that I wanted to go get on video here. This is one of them. It's this little, it's not a big climb, and it's a short little climb, but it's got this really steep little face to it, and it's almost like a sandstone. It's or just really packed mud sand. You know, it's not a granite, it's not a hard rock, but it is real vertical, and you got to have the confidence to really hit this face with some speed to get you over the top. I know grinding stone is going to have a lot of this type of scenario, and either other places I've ridden where it just has that kind of face where you know the bike will make it. You just got to have the confidence to get up. So I'm going to do that for a couple runs right here and get myself on video and just critique, because how I think I feel isn't how it looks. So I like to see what I look like. So I try to come in first gear here, and I'm trying to hit it just with enough speed so I'm just getting over the top and not being reckless and just flying over the top, catching air. And I keep...
Hand came off the clutch.
Yeah, well there, yeah, my finger came off the clutch there. But I keep sticking my foot out, and it's kind of a natural deal. I need to keep my foot in. You'll see that in a couple of the runs. Every time I go, I stick my left foot out, which is bad. You should keep your feet on the pegs. You want to land with your foot just slamming into that ground, jarring the ground. You know, you could hurt your knee real easily or do something like that. Stay on the pegs and let the shocks take that impact. So one little thing I keep in my little bag there is a little street bike kickstand.
Oh, you gotta be kidding
plate.
me! That fell off already. Son of a gun.
Oh yeah, my little tripod, my little holds my iPhone. The little iPhone little squeeze thing came off. So just give it a reference of how big that face is. You know, when you ride on the video, never shows anything, and then when you have super view on a GoPro, because of the warpage of how the GoPro makes a wider field of view, it warps it, and so it's not as steep on the video, even though it is much steeper when you're actually there. There you go. That was pretty good. I'm gonna make a couple runs, but you can still see I get my foot off the peg, and I need to be able to be comfortable enough to keep my foot. See, my left foot comes off right there. I don't know why I do that. I did that so many times. There, I stayed on the pegs that time. Another one, my left foot comes off. Just showing.
Woo.
Takes a lot of work
Yeah,
to make a
buddy.
video. You know, you to set up a camera, you gotta go up, set up the camera, then walk down, get your bike and run. And you know, I got a lot of respect for these guys making videos where they put in a lot of extra time and effort to make it happen. So Avenal has these big runs, and these main runs, like I said, it rained a lot, are just super slick and clay, and it's just balling up on your tire, and it's gonna make it really hard to ride. In the summer, this stuff is, you know, very dry, very powdery, and right now from the rains, it's just very heavy and it just balls up on your clods, your knobs, and just makes your tire very slippery. And even the rains have all these ruts that it's dug out from the drainage, plus the slick conditions. It was very tricky. These simple little roads would be, you know, you wouldn't even think about. I didn't even think about going here that I'd be struggling on this type of road. You know, these are like a car would go up this, you know, in the summertime, but it made it tricky.
It's very slippery. Clay.
So that front tire is just balled up with all mud, so it's getting no traction at all. And then because of the angle of the road there into that little rut, I can't get out of it. I'm like stuck in the rut, and the tire won't grab to get out of it.
It's slick.
So I finally make it down here, and I realized at this moment that it's going to be like this everywhere. And how I thought I was going to ride here is going to be very differently, because it's going to be slick and slippery and muddy everywhere.
That is slippery.
So this run right here to the left, that's one of the steepest ones of the whole area. And during the summer, it's too dry, it's too powdery and soft. I haven't been able to get up it, and I thought, yeah, I could do it from the recent rains, but gosh, it was just so darn slick. And there's still a lot of water down these washes. I mean, this is just mud. Yeah, I'm telling you that IRC, the M5B, does really good. I mean, if I had even the 525 Shinko cheaters, what I normally run, it does have pretty big knobs, but this M5B, the knobs on it are just gigantic. It just ate up this terrain here. Alright, I'm going to give this a very poor shot. Get up, and it just hit so hard and sunk in there. Wasn't ready for that, so I'm going to try to get that again. You can see what I'm dealing with the dirt just building up, balling up on the tires. Look at it, all over the bike. It's making this heavy bike even heavy. It's like the super weight bike, a super heavyweight right now. It is probably 30 pounds of mud on the bike right now. I'm going to try it again, but I'm going to go to the left a little bit. Try to get some of that grass in there. It gets a little bit better traction. Still didn't get it. And of course it lands right at the edge, so I can't pull the bike up. I'm going to have to go back down and make another run at it. Did that a lot today. Like, I'd get right to the edge, and it was either I had to just deadlift the bike up or I'd go back down. Alright, third time's a charm. Let's go. Get it. Alright. Kind of cheated a little bit. Coming to the left is a little bit less of a climb, but oh, well, I was getting tired. I was like, alright, let's get up this hill. So I stalled the bike out right there for some reason. Dumb. But I didn't think I'd be able to get up. But that, I'm telling you, that M5B, it just tracked her right up there. I was impressed. Now, where the grass was and the flowers are, pretty good traction on the pack stuff where all the previous runs are. That's where it was super duper slick. So I ended up not going on the main runs anymore. I was just going off to the side, making new runs through the flowers. Which the flowers are just starting to bloom. They're starting to open up. So give this another week maybe. This place is going to be gorgeous. right here, try to cross over the pipe at an angle. It almost kicked me out. Luckily, I was up on the pegs and was able to counteract that with my balance. A couple of these runs are real fun. They got little lips at the top there. These are real steep. Alright, now it's time to add some hard enduro to this hardcore enduro channel. So I got this little hidden rock canyon here, and there's different areas you can go up, kind of a different level of rocks to get over. So this is one I'm picking. You get up to this mid-level, and then you got to ride it a little straight, and then up to the left.
Definitely need more momentum, and we'll go up that other line.
So it's pretty steep down there. I mean, it's not a big drop off, but definitely don't want to fall to the right here. And it's just a little tricky because it's a little muddy and it's not packed down or anything, so your tire's digging in. I'm trying to prevent it from digging too much. You know, you can just dig a big hole and then it's just a struggle the whole time. So I'm trying to rock it back and forth, kind of pack it down, just taking little bites out instead of just hammering down and having that rear tire just sink it down and dig a big old hole. Now I'm not weighting the back tire, and that's the problem. So I need to get weight on the back tire, and it's because of the drop off there. Just not. Need to be more comfortable. I don't want to hit this rock here and then fling out to the right there. It's pretty narrow and tight through here. So I get it to this far, and I could push from here and use a ton of effort, but I don't want to do that. I want to figure this out without pushing.
Should have just stayed on it.
So I'm gonna bring the bike back down. I want to get over this without pushing. You know, that's what really killed me on the Donner hard enduro is pushing, and pushing just especially this big heavy bike at 450, you can wear yourself out so much. So I almost got there. I'm gonna take it down one more time and give it another hit and get up it. So which I was. You know, I'm glad I did. I'm trying to figure this out without pushing, because these scenarios you're going to get in on a hard enduro, and if you don't practice getting yourself out of a hard situation with using the least amount of energy, you know, it's just going to crush you during the race.
Go back down again, hit it one more time. Pushing from here could be doable, just I'd use so much energy. Let's try going back down again. There we go. Made it a little bit better, I think.
You got to pull that back in over. It's a little tricky in the side of the cliff, but got her done. There we go. So rutted up. That's what I wanted. I wish I could have done that the first try, but you know, this is how an amateur learns. You learn by trial and error. Got it up though, and even though I had to do it a couple times, I mean, I know I'm sounding like I'm huffing and puffing. That's just because I'm out of shape, but I didn't use as much energy as I would have if I just brute force tried to push that out of there. Alright, the hard part's over. Now I just got to get the bike up a little bit more away from that edge. A little sketchy to sit down right there. If the bike rolled back or the dirt gave way, I'd be doing a backflip down the cliff there. Just play a little bit smarter. Get away from the edge before I get on it. Coming up here is this little rock face here. Just these little sections here, it's a lot of fun. Hit that, just a little 2-foot face, get up it, build builds your confidence, you know. I'm starting to hit those really easy now. Now this section here is a fun, sketchy area. So you got this little rock bluff there, and it's got the little ridge line, and it's steep coming up, and you just got to send it. And when you send it, you catch air off that bluff there. It's sketchy, I'm not gonna lie.
That bucked pretty good.
So it's a good practice area to get some of them sketchy cliff climbs that they might throw in a race, or you might see on it, like Jawbone will have stuff like this. But it's very steep, got some rocks to negotiate through. Once you get through, you gotta let that bike roll. There's no stopping, so you just gotta make sure you're picking a good line. Does it look?
We went this angle.
Yeah, so Case, he went right through there. You got to launch off the rock. There's no getting around it. So it's my turn. He launched and almost fell backwards over the cliff. And he just needed a little bit more speed, so I'm going to hit it now. Got over it. But I let off the throttle. I chickened out right after I got over it. Chickened out. Look at all that mud on that bike. It's just weighing me down. Trixie, you're a fat girl today. You're heavy.
Oh shit.
Don't fall back down. Stay up, Trixie. It's always people cut out this stuff. You see other videos, and they don't show the struggle of when you're on the side of the cliff or this really sketchy area. How do you get your bike out of it? So it's no joke, the climb stuff, but just trying to get your bike out of a hairy situation. It's another skill level you got to learn.
Neutral. First gear.
So I'm going to pick the bike up, and then I'm going to pivot the front tire around to the right, and then go side hill and then back down again. But it's so steep right there. I'm trying to get the bike to pivot without it sliding backwards is tricky.
I think that's what I want right there. Alright, stay right there, Trixie. Come on, girl.
Just walking around and stuff. I'm surprised the bike didn't slide down, because that was so steep and it was crumbly right there. But she's stuck. She was like a mountain goat, just stuck right there. So here's a trick that you can do here to get out of a spot. Instead of trying to start the bike and drive it up, just use the starter and just bump it up, using the starter, and that'll just get you a couple extra inches away from whatever dangerous area you are. And I saw Tristan Hart do that, and I was like, well, he knows this stuff, so I'm going to start doing that. If I'm in a really bad spot, just hit that starter and it'll bump you out of the way a little bit. Another rock face, bam! Up and over, well done. I love that stuff, I'm getting better at it. The downhills are just so steep. And you gotta, I'm always doing what Rich Larson said, you go as slow as you can for as long as you can before you roll down. Keep the bike under control. And I always think about that every time I go downhill on a really steep, sketchy area. As slow as you can for as long as you can. So I'm gonna try this a couple more times. More speed coming in, staying on the pegs once I land, and you gotta hit that, you gotta clear up to that second little level there before you get traction. So here I don't quite get to that second level, and you'll see I kind of dig a hole for me. Now this next time, I'm gonna do a bad thing here. So I'm gonna get facing the wrong direction and have to bail on the bike. Check this out. So I get kicked out there, and it's just facing downhill. Like I see the edge of the rocks there. I'm like, holy crap! So I just bailed off the bike, and I lean off to the left, and luckily nothing happens to me. The bike goes over the edge.
Didn't make that one. I went up there and bike flew.
So take a look at this in slow motion here. And the back end gets kicked out to the left, and my steering goes right, and I happen to grab a little bit of throttle, and I'm just looking off the face of that cliff there, so I bail off. Just kind of a backwards flop. And the bike just goes right over the edge, and luckily I didn't. It wasn't the best bail on a bike, but saved me. That was a broken collarbone for sure. Something would have broke if I would have went over with that bike. Trixie, she just takes the punishment from me when I ride. I don't have any mercy on her. She takes it like a champ and keeps on running. This bike has been through a lot, and it has backflipped and tumbled and somersaulted and slammed into things, and nothing has ever broken that she couldn't take me home. She's been a good bike. Now I took a second to recover here and catch my breath, and then bam, back at it. So I'm going to pick a couple new lines. This one's off to the left here. And this one's a really hard one because there's several little step up levels of rocks you got to bounce through and cover. And of course, first run, always too slow.
Nasty.
And more of like a recon run than an actual attempt. But getting down, this is another tricky spot. Another little technique I do is I do the knee pivot. So I put the bike on my knee and I use my calf muscle to push the front end over. So that works pretty good. You know, instead of sometimes you do the front tire drag, or you just lean the bike into your knee and then pivot that. Now here, I could have just rode this down, but the first time through, it was in my head to not write it down that I was just going to tumble. So I try to bulldog the bike down, walk the bike down, and of course it's too steep. I can't walk the bike down here. So I'm just going to let her go down and around.
Wasn't the best.
Sorry, Trixie. But and then I slide down on my butt. I don't know why I did that. So the next time through, I just write it down. I have no issue. But it was in my head not to write it down.
Oh, no.
See, there's my mat bag so that it's open. And I wish it had a little magnetic flap over the end of it, or a Velcro flap. So even if I forget to zip it, that magnet or the Velcro would catch. Maybe I just got to add that on myself. So here's an attempt. Get almost to the top. I had a little bit more to go, and I would have sent that over. That's pretty sketchy. You can see those little rock faces. You really got to be just
closer,
flying up there and jumping over all that stuff. I feel like I'm a mountain goat, one of those mountain goats that run up the side of rocks, walk on the side of dams. That's how I feel right now. It's steep. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm just going to ride down this time. I don't know why I didn't do it the first time, but it was no problem at all to do it. Got this lone telephone pole out here, which is really handy. keep dumping your bike on the rocks, and you can come to the pole and straighten out your wheel. So I got enough of that. I'm gonna start heading back to the other side. There's some single track out here. It's that canyon down to the left. You can see that going up there, so you can follow that around. And I didn't ride that today, just this little section, just to show what it looks like. Today it was just too muddy and slippery. I don't want to, tuck the front end over, slide out, or just have a dumb crash. Do this on a later day when the dirt's a little drier. They're just a little too snotty, a little too slick. So I'm gonna hop off there and start heading back. Right up here, there's a big face. It's a little climb, it's just a little blip of the throttle. You're to the top, but it is vertical, straight up and down. So I'm gonna come and hit that, and I hit it at an angle, and it made the bike kick out, and I had to bail on it. And when I fell back, I fell right on that edge. If I would have 6 inches more, I would have fell backwards, and backflipped down the slope there. Now, when you ride out here in Avenal, you got to be careful if you cross country it, go off the main little trails. There's a lot of little trenches and sunken holes the water makes and animals make, and you could easily put your front tire in that and fly over the handlebars. So I've been out here quite a bit, so I kind of know what's around, but just be careful. Now right here is this little rock formation. It looks like a fallen log, and I've gotten where I can clear it pretty easy now. I know when I first, because you're going uphill, and then you got to clear that. As you're going uphill, you got to still pop that front end over, get over it. When I first started coming out here, I tried to hit that, and I was like, I couldn't do it. Now it's getting pretty easy for me. Nice little climb. There's a bunch of people out today on quads. They're like ants. They're just going everywhere on their quads. I'm not a quad guy, but they're out having fun, riding around. There's like 50 of them all in a group. Here's a hard little ravine canyon section here. I actually got pretty good traction. It just gets so steep here at the end. I wasn't able to carry enough momentum up. So I'm going to hit that a couple more times. Let's see what she can do. Alright, I think this is my third go at it. This actually, the dirt was really good right here. It wasn't muddy at all, just from all the flowers. But it was just a rough start, and I couldn't get enough speed. And this is just, it's so steep right here. So didn't get her.
The damn front tire just caked on.
Yeah, it's caked on. Now I got a golden tire. The front's a fatty, and it's a little worn. I don't know if this would be the best tire for this. Maybe something a little bit bigger knobs.
It's gonna carry more speed.
Or maybe I just need more speed. More speed solves a lot of problems. Now check this guy. This guy's trying. That's right where he's at there. It's like almost a cliff. It is very steep, and he's the first person I've ever seen try to hit it. So he goes back down, and then he hits the one on the right, and it does pretty good. Now I went down there. He's riding a 125, so I was impressed that he was trying to tackle these hills on his 125. It's got the big rut in the middle from the water. Just makes it a very harsh start, so you can't carry a lot of speed. If you can carry a lot of speed, I think that would be pretty easy. So there we go. This is my first attempt at it. I got to cross over that little trench right there. And of course, first attempt, always never enough speed, coming a little slow. It's more of just a recon attempt. And so I'm gonna hit this again. You can see how much further that guy got than I did. That curve, the first initial part of it, and especially on the curve, is really slick. And then as it gets up here, it just turns into a sand dune. So you really got to be bringing in a lot of speed right here. Otherwise, my back tire just starts digging in. And coming down, coming down is almost scarier than going up, because once you get going here, it turns in this really slick mud. There's no stopping at all. You just kind of skiing down to the bottom. So here we go. This is the second attempt here. And I'm going to cut the trench a little earlier this time and get a better run up. And then you just kind of slide right in that berm on the outside there. And I'm doing a lot better, getting a lot more speed through that sandy spot. But it just starts digging in, digging in, digging in.
Yeah, farther than that guy.
Just need more speed, just like hill climbing, you always need more speed. Turning around, this is really steep, and getting the bike turned around, having to face a muddy downhill slide. I picked this little route. The little flowers here and weeds kind of add some extra grab, helping me slow down going downhill here. It's still hairy going down. Alright, I'm going to make it to the bottom now. It's this little slippery wash area. You had to be careful going down that too. There we go. Here's the next attempt. Coming in a little bit straighter. Got more speed. Still not hitting that third gear. I'm coming in at second gear, which a third gear run up to this would have been a lot better. But I'm able to turn left. I get a little bit squirrely, and I had to lay off the throttle a little bit, and that cost me. Didn't get to the top. So I'm going to have to keep on trying.
That was it. Farthest yet. I should have been more up.
So I'm going to get the bike turned around here and do the treacherous downhill slide. And you can hear my voice. The sounds I'm making. It's like I'm taking the worst shit ever in my life. It's just making me laugh right now, hearing myself. I don't know where those sounds are coming from. They're just instinctual. We'll see. That going downhill, that's stressful. That is so steep. There's absolutely no way to control your speed. You just gotta keep your balance and pray for the best there.
Going down, it's scarier than going up.
All right, this is my final attempt. Let's go. Let's get it. Kind of shoot right, try to come back left, gets super soft, back end starts swirling around on me, and just lost all my momentum. So that's as far as I got in the last run of the day there. I'm so tired at this point from riding, and I'm gonna call it. Wish I would have came a little bit earlier and hit that a couple more times. I would have got that hill. This is the bad part. Whenever you almost get to the top, don't quite get to the top, you got to go all the way back down. So nerve-wracking, that initial descent, because it's steep as hell closer to the top. So right here, I'm just going as slow as I can for as long as I can until I get onto the main run here, where it's a little bit more packed down. It's still very loose. My back end's actually sliding off to the left. I keep having to pull in the clutch to help center the bike and let it get traction again. I'm going to call it on that climb and move on. I got to start heading back to the truck. On the way back, I found this little climb there, that little hill, with that little lip at the top. So I was going to hit this a couple times. That was a fun one. It had about a 3-foot little lip at the top. It was pretty big. brought in some speed. I was able to get up, crest the top each time. That one barely made it over though. That back tire is borderline going back down again. And it was real muddy. I needed to bring in a little bit more speed, really pop it over the top there. But it's all good practice. It was a lot of fun getting up that one. I didn't want to risk standing the bike up and having it rolling down again, so I had to do the old butt drag there, dragging the back tire over. Pretty good face. That was a good practice right there. Alright, this next one here. I came up this earlier in the day. Well, I'm heading back to the truck, and I'm like, I'll just go back down it. Well, it's so slick and it's steep. I have no control of the bike as I'm going. I'm so lucky I didn't crash. The bike's going sideways. It's stuck in this rut from the water, little trench there. Finally, I get it under control at the bottom. That was a close one. All right, y'all. That's gonna bring this video to an end. Hope you enjoyed it. This is the Avenal Hills. Just a training day for me. I missed out on Soboba, but you know, still had a good time. You know, you got to get out and ride and have a good time. So, till the next video, get out and ride and get some. Ew!